Hey guys, it's Jake from Reptiles here. I've been really cooked the last couple of days, as you can probably hear in my voice, as I lose it for just yelling out. In today's video, we're going to be using some products that have been kindly gifted to us by Ash at the Substrate Co. Told him the size tank we had and what we're setting it up for, and he hooked us up with an awesome care package of bioactive substrate, real substrate, that's going to help set up my new tank for the guys behind me here. Alrighty, so this is what we're working with. We've got 4 5-kilo bags, so 20 kilos of the dry Woodlands substrate. We'll take a closer look at the actual mix in a second. We've got some ground covers. Now, I was told that these do usually come in one bag. He just gave a little bit extra in this scenario and has split the botanicals, or the ground cover, in 2 different bags. And then we also have our bag of springtails to help with the bioactive substrate case. I've also got some isopods that I'm going to include as well. And then we've got a few native plants and some LED lights. Native plants go very meh in terrariums, so this is going to be a bit of a test subject, and we're going to just trial it out and hopefully can follow you guys along the progress. But it's for these little guys here, the 2 frillies. They're getting an upgrade into this tank here. Alrighty, so what we've done is add a Exoterra canopy top with 2 LED globes, and we've also got a 6.5K downlight as well, which is also ALEC. So that's our light side of things in regards to plant growth and just having a nice light enclosure. So obviously another thing we've got to do is install our Reptile Systems 12% UVB light. That's also a must. So ignore the cables, we'll tidy it all up, but we officially have all of our lights going. So if you look from underneath, we've got 3 LED lights for the plant growth plus lighting up the enclosure. We're running a radiant heat light and a masking light as well. So the Substrate Co. was really kind enough to actually provide us with the substrate used in this. As I said, this is the dry woodland substrate. So much R&D went into this. It's crazy to think that even as far as going to pH test the soils and so much, that you're really getting a high quality product. So super keen to see how this goes. Can't wait to see my plants grow in it. And I know it's going to make the enclosure look fantastic for my frillies. Let's add the bag of substrate. So what I'm going to do to create a bit of a depth of field protection thing is I'm going to have a thinner layer at the front here, and I'm going to actually drag it back so that in certain parts that there's going to be higher ends, which will also help in me planting the plants as well. But it also just gives a bit of an illusion to the enclosure. Now at this current point in time, I don't have a whole lot of the hardscape, but I'm going to get just a rough layout, just so I can sort of see and get a gauge for how I'm going to be setting this one up. As I said, I'm currently working with limited resources, so bear with me. We'll still make this look good nonetheless. No, don't like that one. Bad choice, Jakey. So this one allows heat under the radiant light, and then this one here allows heat under the normal basking light. I think that's not too bad so far. Let's add a couple more. So although these aren't tall enough, these are from their existing enclosure. So I'm going to add them just so they have a sense of familiarity with the existing enclosure. This one is one of their favorite ones, so definitely got to include that in there. So I think that's going to be our hardscape. Let's get our plants in. So what we're going to want to do is pretty much strip all of this back to bare root. And that way we're not getting any pesticides or anything like that. And our plants have the best adaptation to the brand new substrate. So now we're just going to work out the layout. Native plants don't have the best adaptation to the terrarium life. So I'm taking these plants with a grain of salt. By no means is it an impact from the soil itself. Just by feeling this substrate, I can pretty much guarantee that it would work really well with actual terrarium plants. But we're going for a native scape here, so we'll see how it goes. Let's continue to plant. Of course, grasses. You can never go wrong with grass. This is frosted curls. I got a few tall grasses and a few shorter ones, so we'll plant the shorter stuff towards the front and the longer stuff towards the back. If I think about the placement too much, it's going to look artificial. So I've kind of got to just send it. So we'll see. This one's crazy pot bound. It's got mad roots. Jesus, I have to take this one outside. Getting covered, absolutely covered in it. Alright, this has insane roots. So now we're going to move on to some of the foreground plants. So let's give a bit of scale illusion here. Basically, there's no way that the plants do not take to this substrate. As I said, if they don't, it's because they're native plants. Nothing to do with the substrate itself. So I even got a few other little plants that were on clearance, so I don't know. I mean, we'll see. You get little plants, little shrubs. You get little plants growing all the time. So it was just to sort of mimic nature with all the real little shrubs growing. Like always, obviously, just after you've planted your plants, you're best off to spray them down, water them in, which is going to make them a lot happier. Alright, I might be sweating profusely. The cold doesn't help with that, plus the fact that I just had to wrestle with a lot of these plants to get them out. Your leaf litter or ground cover not only holds moisture for the plants, as it breaks down, it's going to add nutrients for the live plants. It also acts as a hiding spot for your microfauna, like your isopods and springtails, but obviously just adds that extra little layer of depth that you would find in a real slice of nature. Next, we're going to add our other botanicals. These are our larger ground covers, so gum nuts and other tree nuts, I'm assuming. Exactly right. Gum nuts, so perfect hiding spots for your microfauna, as I said. That's epic. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, hell yeah. Ah, cool. Some cool like seed pods. Oh man, I love that. That is freaking awesome. Now last but not least, this is my springtail pack from the Substrate Co. Also provided to us. So normally you'd sort of mix this in or put it on before the leaf litter. I was a bit of a doofus and I didn't do that. But luckily I've got the hollow log in the corner. Yeah, the seed's teeming with life. I'm going to tip them back there because one, it's not covered, and secondly, it's hidden, so you're not going to see that clump of substrate that I've just dumped there. It came with 2 packets. I'm going to add the second packet as well. You can't go wrong with isopods. So I actually produced my own here. We've got orange ones and white ones and some normal grey or scava. And we're just going to include this piece of bark here because they love it. So we'll just put that, nestle this in to the substrate here. So all these botanicals, all the leaf litter, everything is going to be an absolutely great food source for them. Alright, so let's take a look. This is it. Pretty happy with how it looks. It would be nice if I could have a background and so forth. I might get one of the picture backgrounds maybe. Oh, look at that. That's funny. One of the scabers is already climbing. But yeah, I mean, I think it does look like a slice of the woodland forest. Exactly where these frillies come from. Substrate's awesome. As I said, I do really strongly believe the plants are going to take really well to this. The only issue is that the natives, as I said, just don't necessarily go well transitioning to a terrarium sort of life. But fingers crossed they do. Otherwise, I might have to hit Ash up again, the Substrate Co., and maybe go for a tropical setup and do some terrarium plants because I know they will do fantastic. So, how's that? Looks good. Awesome kits. Love the botanicals. Again, the seed pods, all the gum nut shells and stuff. Awesome. It's a fantastic touch to making your enclosure look like a slice of nature, straight from the bush. Alrighty guys, that's going to do for today's video. A huge shout out to the Substrate Co. Ash, thank you so much for sending out this product. I cannot wait. I think the real test will be in a few weeks to see whether the plants take well. Regardless of that, even then, it just looks fantastic. It feels great. It's so natural. As far as dirt goes, there's not very many options available. So again, the Substrate Co. link to the Facebook and Instagram will be down below. Please do go check it out if you're interested in some for yourself. I highly recommend it so far. We'll have a follow-up video which will give our final verdicts, but my predictions are that this is a great product, so pretty stoked, can't wait.